recent games, Nick. What have you been playing?
I've been playing the most disappointing game on the Switch since it released. Unfortunately.
Drum roll. What is it?
I've already mentioned it. It's Super Mario Maker 2. And what to say about this game? I don't even know where to start. It's a good game. It's a really good game, but it's just disappointing in a couple of ways that really kind of ruined the experience for me. And I had the first game on the Wii U and I thought it was fantastic. The execution was fantastic, thanks to the Wii U gamepad. Now, I only designed, I think, 3 or 4 levels on that, and they weren't great, but I liked them, and quite a few people played them. I think I got just under 1,000 people total for my 4 levels.
Amazing.
And I used to love going on the little community website that they developed for Mario Maker and just reading all the information. I know they've kind of tried to integrate that into the game this time, but I don't know, when I was just at work and I could see that someone had played my level, I could see where they died or how many attempts they'd had or something like that. That was quite cool. And I just feel like this game's lacking a little bit of personality. And I think most of that comes from the fact that it's not as fresh as it was back on the Wii U, because we've had more Mario side scrollers than we can throw sticks at. Most of us are sick to death of them, but Mario Maker breathed that new life into them, didn't it, at the time, and made them fun again and interesting again and less formulaic. And this, I don't know, it just hasn't really done it for me, this one. And the main complaints that I have about the game, first of all, the story mode's a bit weak. I've not really enjoyed that. I think I've done about 15 levels and the ideas are interesting, but I haven't really had the desire to keep going. Secondly, and this probably was a problem with the Wii U version, but I'm just remembering the good things about it rather than the bad things. I don't think I've played a good level made by somebody else. Obviously there's I've played your levels, I've played Greg's levels, I've played guys on the forums levels, your son's levels as well. And when you just choose a random level or you're just browsing, very, very rarely will you come across something that's either good or interesting or even understandable. Or you'll come across something that is an auto run, which I can do without. I'll just watch that on YouTube, thanks. Or you'll come across something that ends in a few seconds and there's just nothing to it. And that wouldn't be so much of a problem if you didn't have to wait for ages for everything to load. That's another thing that I don't remember there being in the Wii U game, is that when you start a level, when you finish a level, there is quite a long wait between everything.
Is there? Okay, I can't quite remember. I haven't put it on I did put it on recently, but I haven't been in there to load someone's level or download a level for quite some time now.
It definitely feels quite sluggish in that regard. If you want to hop between levels and try lots of different things, you spend a lot of time just sat waiting for stuff to load. And that's quite frustrating. I have very fast internet, I've got a wired switch, and still it's painfully slow at times. So, I don't know, that's it. And I haven't really had the desire to create anything, which is not a complaint about the game at all. That's completely me. But even the couple of times back when it launched, when I did have the desire, I got the game with the stylus and the 12-month subscription, and it's just uncomfortable. It's not comfortable designing a level with the stylus on the Switch, on the handheld Switch screen.
Because the way you've got to hold the Switch.
Yeah.
Your hand, I can understand, your hand would be floating in the air and there's nothing to rest your arm on. I can understand. Didn't the gamepad have the same issue?
Not for me. I sat on the bed and it wasn't that uncomfortable doing it on the gamepad, but on the Switch, it is a bit more cumbersome. I've taken the Joy-Cons off and just held the Switch like the screen, and it's a little bit better. But, you know, when you've got the sticks, you can use them to, like, the actual physical controls are not that bad, to be honest. Much better than, I don't even think there was physical controls on Mario, the original, was there? But they're quite intuitive with the little circles and stuff like that. So, I mean, they're the main issues that I have with the game. That I think maybe it just came too soon. And I think it could have done to wait a little bit longer and just like get a bit of distance between the first one and this one. I think, I mean, I didn't really put that much time into the first one, to be honest. I think it was about 40 or 50 hours, but that was enough. Like once that was done, that was enough. And I go for a long break before I get back into it. So I guess that's one reason why I haven't had the desire to really create anything. But on the plus side, I really like the Ninja speedrun stuff.
That is well implemented, and why that didn't come out initially.
I don't mind that it didn't come out initially. Okay. Like that's, for me, that's not a problem. I think the fact that they've updated the game once is a bit of a problem.
Yes.
But I guess if they were waiting for, because the update was pretty substantial, then okay, I can understand, like, they added quite a lot of stuff. So definitely some of those Nintendo developed levels, like there's a list you can go through where there's like Nintendo of Australia, Nintendo of America, Nintendo of Europe, and so on, Japan. And there's like 4 or 5 levels on each one. And they are really, really good levels. Like there's some puzzle levels, there's some like tough platforming levels. That's what I thought this game would be more of. But unfortunately in the community, it doesn't seem to be that. And even like the top rated levels, most of them are just music ones or auto scrollers. And I'm just not interested at all in that. Like, it's not interesting. I want to play a Mario level or a Zelda level.
I'm surprised the Zelda stuff hasn't taken off as much. Maybe it has, and I just haven't tried it, you know. But how do you find a good level? That's the problem, isn't it?
Finding a good level is hard, but when you do, it's really, really well done. The Zelda update is fantastic.
Yes, it is.
I played a really good. I can't remember if this was a Nintendo developed level or if it was one that I actually did end up finding on the community, but it was just a dungeon crawler, and there was a couple of bosses, and you had to fire arrows up in the air and hit switches and use bombs, and, you know, you had to like use your sword down move a couple of times on stuff, and it was just mixing everything up, and it was great. A few keys to find, doors to unlock, and obviously it's not a Zelda game, but it felt new and it felt fresh. And for me, this is what Super Mario Maker 2 has lacked in since launch, really, and it hasn't pulled me in as much as I thought it would. So I'm hoping that this little forum thing we've got going now will be the push that gets me back into it, because it is a game that you can put like 3 or 4 hours into one evening and then forget about it for a month and go back to it. Like there's no like desire, like there's no real need to play like there is with a story driven game or with a online based game. So that's one thing that I, especially right now with my backlog and all this stuff, that's one thing I'm very happy about. Stick Mario Maker on for a couple of hours, maybe make a level, play a few levels, switch it off, forget about it. It's, in that respect, it's very nice and very convenient, but I'm going to stick with it just when I feel like it. And hopefully, once I've designed a level, I might change my opinion a little bit on it. But it is quite disappointing. It is a little bit of a disappointment, to be honest. And the 3D world stuff is more disappointing than I thought it would be, because I think it's too different from the other styles.
It certainly can't be integrated across into the other styles. That's one of the limitations, of course. Yeah, it's got to be its own separate entity. Yeah,
but I don't know. Still love Super Mario World and Super Mario 3. The new Super Mario Brothers skin is horrendously bad. I hate it with every fibre of my being.
Brothers. every time I look at all the different skins, I think whenever I create a level, if I've always gone for that Super Mario Brothers 3 skin.
Or the world one, yeah.
Yeah, the world one's nice, yeah.
But yeah, the new one is... it's a shame.
I'm hoping that forum game from Smeagol as well, Super Mario Maker 2 Challenge, will get me into creating. I haven't created many levels. I created 3, but it's 1 level and then 3 difficulties. So it's like a remix of the same thing. It's a co-op thing I've done, and a co-op multiplayer. And it's my son I've enjoyed watching playing, because he's very creative. He loves his Minecraft. He loves that kind of building game. And just sitting down and watching him create a game has been that made the game for me. Myself, I can completely empathize with your misgivings of it. If it was just for myself and I was playing it by myself, my son wasn't playing it at all, I would have been really, really disappointed with it.
Shame.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button and give us a like if you've enjoyed our content. You can also check out our other great content on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and the N-E Café podcast from all good podcast providers. Just follow the links in the description below.